This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
One of the very real and scary after effects of electing people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and George Santos, these fringy, right-wing, conspiracy-minded morons and liars, in the case of George Santos, is that it's a recruitment tool for other idiots. It's a recruitment tool for the kind of dangerous people I'm going to talk about today. We're going to go to this headline from Albuquerque Journal. Failed Republican candidate arrested in shootings targeting Democratic politicians' homes. Albuquerque police on Monday arrested the man they say is the mastermind, quote unquote, behind a recent string of shootings targeting Democratic lawmakers' homes. The suspect, Solomon Pena, is a Republican who unsuccessfully ran for office in November, has made repeated claims that the election was rigged, and appears to have attended the January 6, 2021 insurrection in Washington, D.C. Albuquerque Journal. It's not a riot, it's an insurrection. Around 3 p.m., Albuquerque Police Department SWAT team swarmed a condominium complex near the ABQ Biopark Zoo to execute a search warrant. They made announcements for Pena, who they said may be armed with a firearm, to surrender as drones flew overhead. All right, that's a little aggressive. Within an hour, officers had arrested Pena, who accused of paying 4 men to shoot at the home of 2 county commissioners and 2 state legislatures. Police Chief Harold Medina announced Monday evening. Investigators also believe Pena was present for at least one of the shootings. So he just didn't commission the crime, he was present. Pena ran unsuccessfully in the House District 14 race and claimed on social media he should have won the election. Shoulda, woulda, didn't. He also visited 3 of the targeted homes unannounced in November, complaining the election was fraudulent and should not be certified. Albuquerque Police Department essentially discovered what we had all feared and what we suspected, that these shootings were indeed politically motivated, Mayor Tim Keller said at a news conference. Quote, they were dangerous attacks not only to these individuals, but fundamentally also to democracy. Now, this is the rub, and I don't think it's a stretch. It's when you give power and legitimacy to people who espouse insane conspiracy theories, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, these Solomon Pena idiots come out of the woodwork. These people who believe they see a moron elected to Congress, a dangerous demagogue like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert, they see that and they're like, well, I could do that too. It's why we have a George Santos. But in this case, it's a violent individual who not only claims he should have won, I did win, but he's going and commissioning the shooting of Democrats' homes, of elected officials' homes, of winners' homes. And Republicans will cry foul that you can't make that comparison. No, we had nothing to do with this. Our vile conspiracies about your country being stolen from you. If we don't have a secure border, we don't have a country. All of this inciting violent language brings someone like this to the decision to apparently attempt to murder opponents, political opponents, both direct political opponents, maybe here, but also in the broader sense of the term, ideologically. This is a problem. And the Republican Party, that's not on the agenda card to deal with it. It's not a part of their priorities to deal within the radicalism within their ranks. They're happy for this to be the case because it brings them headlines. It gins up controversy. They get talked about. It moves the needle in the direction of radicalism. And they're all too happy for that. Because your reasonable, quote unquote, Republicans, like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, They've been rooted out. They've been pushed out. Their radical ideologies aren't radical enough for this Republican Party. That should say something. That Liz Cheney isn't radical enough for today's Republican Party, for Trump's Republican Party. You must espouse lies. You must espouse conspiracy theories. You must be okay with violence in the public setting. That appears to be the order of the day. And unfortunately, we're in a situation where we're going to see more of this rather than less, because only one side is trying to deal with it. Only one side is acknowledging that the problem exists to begin with. We're going to have more Solomon Penas. The more Marjorie Taylor Greene rises to legitimacy and power holding key committee assignments, the more screen time with Republican networks as giving her legitimacy Lauren Boebert gets, the more Solomon Penas that we're going to see. The higher that you raise a man like Steve Scalise to levels of power in the House of Representatives, a man, Steve Scalise, who said, I'm just like David Duke without all the baggage. I'm just like the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan without all the baggage. The more we do that as a society, the more we're going to have Solomon Penas either hiring or doing it himself, violence targeted at the other side. It is one thing to have heightened rhetoric, to call Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, to have little nicknames, to talk about how he campaigned from his basement. All of that is just politics. Whether you like it or not, whether you approve of it or not, this rises to an entirely different level where they're endangering the lives of those elected officials and their families. When you're taking shots with a firearm at someone's home, it goes beyond the rhetoric. And the rhetoric is what incites this. They're questioning the talk of the invasion at our southern border. You're not going to have a country anymore. Democrats are baby murderers. All of this leads to the eventuality that could be seen like a roadmap. Anyway, unfortunately, I think things are going to get hotter before they get cooler. They're going to get worse before they get better. It is a sign of the times, and Republicans are driving the train. They are allowing this to happen because they ignore the fact that it's their support. Listen, if I was on Twitter and all of my supporters were vile and represented detestable segments of our society in their opinions, I would start questioning myself. Like, what is it about me that is appealing to these assholes? You know, a guy like Jordan Peterson, for instance. Does he never stop to think, wow, I got a lot of racists and dangerous folks who support me? Ben Shapiro, the same thing. Matt Walsh, the same thing. They know that, they foster that, they engender that in their audience. You would think the same thing of these Republican elected leaders, that they would take a beat, take a moment to reflect on what it is that they're fostering within the people who support them. The cult-like movement that is disseminated itself, it's starting to trickle down away from Donald Trump and attach itself to these individual people. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail. If you live in Albuquerque, I'd love to know what's going on down there. 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media. I can be found at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Dollemore. And if you appreciate what I do, if I bring you value on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis, please consider supporting my work. You can click the join button below, become a channel member for $2 a month, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you very much. New digs, new year. We're going to get the studio lined out. It's going to be a good time this year. We're going to do a lot more of a bunch of whole new different things. We're going to try some stuff out, see what sticks, see what you like, see what you don't, and I'd love for you to be along for the ride. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.